So West Ham return to our rightful place at the top of the Premier League. I mean, I'm joking, of course, but wow, look, I mean, I'm not joking about where we are. We are back top of the league. What a result for us again. Luton Town 1, West Ham 2. I mean, I'm buzzing. I like every West Ham fan. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm so pleased with the start we've made. Unheard of, really, for us, isn't it, to start a season so well, right on the front foot, points on the board. Team playing well, new signings are gelling well. It's just been a really positive start to the season. And let's be honest, I don't think many of us would have thought this, about a month ago when, in the summer transfer window, we were really struggling to get deals done. We were having everything rejected. We just seemed to be scattergunning and there was talks of unrest behind the scenes. It just seemed a really dark season we were coming into. But fair play to West Ham and everyone involved, the players, the manager, the backroom staff. It's been excellent. Really, really positive start. And to be honest with you, it's really strange because, you go into these matches, especially at Luton away, very tough places to go. Let's be honest, not easy, especially considering it's their first Premier League game at home on Sky. It's the hallmarks of a West Ham slip. You could just sense it. What I'm talking about, usually we would. But I've got to be honest, I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I went into that game very confident. I really did feel that we could get the job done. And they didn't let us down, did they? They were absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. And we'll talk about the game in a little bit more detail. But, I want to just say, I am really thrilled. It's such a lovely way to start the weekend. And the fact is now we've got football to look forward to watch. And, the pressure's off. We can just enjoy it. And we've got the international break, which is, dare I say, it probably come at a bad time for us in a way because we're playing so well. But then also you kind of feel like, well, we get time now to keep working on the training ground, get ready for good, because obviously we've got some tough games coming up. But yeah, I mean, I'm really, really chuffed, as you can probably tell. And what a way to start the weekend. So let's talk about the main points of the match. I mean, I'm sure most of you have seen it, or at least watched the highlights anyway. But let's just go through it. I've got to say, one thing that's really, really impressed me with the Luton performance and the way that we dealt with it was our setup and how we played. Because when I was watching the game, the interviews before it, David Moyes straight away stated that we're going to have to play this game very differently to how we've played other matches. And immediately I started to worry, actually. I thought, oh, God, what does this mean? Like, are we going to have to try and play this possession-based football that we've shown before last season, but didn't really suit us? And I actually could see it being a problem for us. But that was the part of the match that I enjoyed the most, actually, watching West Ham play a completely different style to how we played against Brighton, against Chelsea. And we were really good. We looked, we held the ball fantastically well. And just looked comfortable, especially in the second half. First half, probably not so much, but the second half, definitely. But I like the fact we've got this way that we can adapt and play quite well in terms of who we're playing up against. Because when I was actually talking about thinking about doing the previewing the match and talking about it, I actually felt that Luton would really come at us and be very, very dominant, and I thought that would suit us. But actually, it was more the other way around. I thought they sat back a little bit and they were trying to play a bit more counter. But I'm not saying Luton played badly because they didn't. But I'm just really impressed the way West Ham adapted to that, and the players did so well, really well, and a completely different system, but looked good. So that was my main big positive for me, that result and that performance. And that shows in the stats. So the stats showed that the actual overall percentage of possession was 61%. 61% for West Ham, big, considering the fact that we've been in sort of the 20s and 30s in the last two games because of our counter-attack football. To then have to switch to being a more possession-based team in a certain game and deal with it and play really well was so great to see. So it was a difficult game in terms of the occasion, and rightly so, and like it should be. You go to these grounds, they're tough, they're small, they're compact. That pitch was tight. The fans are pretty much on the pitch. It was a really, it felt like a cup game, didn't it? Like I was watching it feeling like it's like watching an FA Cup game. We're gonna really struggle. And I don't know if you saw the build up. You might have even noticed it for the commentary, people that watched it on TV. It was very, you could sense they really wanted to see Luton win that game. My word. I get it. I do get it because the romance of it, their first Premier League game, they've just opened the ground. It was all kind of, you could sense that they were hoping that would be the case. But no, West Ham certainly spoilt that party, and thank God we did. We're going to get back to the video really shortly, but I just want to let you know this video is actually sponsored by NordVPN. Now, NordVPN are a private network that allow you as a fan to watch games from the comfort of your own home. You can change the region that you're in. It also allows you to watch films, TV shows, things like that. Now, the other big thing is it's also on travel costs. So being West Ham, where you're in Europe again, and also you might want to go on holiday, but you can also save some money on your flights, on your hotels, things like that. It's really worth it. And look, for the monthly subscription, okay, it's less than a pint or a coffee a month. Now, if you go to the link below and using nordvpn.com/West Ham Way, you get 4 months free, completely free. And also after that, you get a 30-day money back guarantee. So just click on the link, go on it, give it a try, see what you think. Anyway, that's the video. But the atmosphere there was interesting, to say the least. I mean, I know people that went and spoke to me about it and said that it was they were quite up for it, quite noisy, Luton, but they were giving us some stick. I mean, they gave Jared Bowen a lot of stick. They gave Zouma, continually booing Zouma. They were quite aggressive, really. I found it, I was quite surprised. And as I say, that gave it that sort of cup feel, the atmosphere about it. But yeah, we dealt with that really, really well. And again, that is a sign of a really professional side, isn't it? Like a side that can handle these difficult moments, these difficult occasions, and just manage it so well. And you do get, I mean, maybe I'm just getting a little bit ahead of myself here. I don't want to do that because someone said a really good quote to me the other day and saying, you know, when you're doing well, when you're up, don't get too cocky. And when you're doing bad, when you're down struggling, you don't have to get too depressed and too down. You will try and keep a bit of, you know, try and keep it a bit of mid ground where you are. So I'm not saying not getting carried away, but you look at what we've achieved recently in terms of our cup success in Europe, and just it gives the feeling like we're just handling things a little bit better, like we've got a bit more confidence about the way we play, a bit more professionalism, and I could just sense that against Luton. Like we never really looked in danger, we never really looked worried, and we were struggling to deal with it. And you can, as I've said, all these factors. You're dealing with a tight ground, with an atmosphere that everyone wanted, apart from West Ham, of course, Luton to win, to get their first points on the board and make that romantic story of opening their ground for Premier League football and win. So, and we just dealt with it really, really well. So talking points to the actual match, though, we first half, I felt that we probably struggled a little bit to get into controlling the game as much as I wanted us to. I don't think we're ever really in danger. Really, I think Luton are really lacking any quality, especially in the final third. My word, they just didn't really have anything that looked too dangerous. But still, to be credit to them, they had good energy. They were trying, but I thought that we actually were probably playing a little bit more counter. I thought in the first half we were probably just lacking for some reason that little bit of cutting edge that we've seen in the last couple of games, where we were just so lethal, especially against Brighton. We just looked unbelievable on the counter. So. In my mind, I think we should have been further ahead than we were at half time. Edson Alvarez had a good chance in the first half. There was a good blocked shot. Apart from that, we didn't really threaten too much. We were, I mean, I think Ben Rama had a couple of opportunities, but ultimately we probably just struggled to carve out any really, really sort of decent opportunity right until the later part of the half. So on 38 minutes, that's when we had our first goal. Jared Bowen with a header, and my word, what a ball from Lucas Paqueta. I mean, he's our, you know, the puppet master, isn't he? He controls the game. He really is a vital player. He's so lethal. His passing is just exquisite. Although I would say he hit a couple of he overhit a few yesterday. He wasn't quite in terms of power. He just seemed to be doing a little bit too much. But I can't take anything away from him, though. He was absolutely excellent. Really, really good performance again from him. And yeah, and he obviously set up the Bowen goal. So he's whipped in this beautiful cross in the edge of the box with his left boot, just curled it in. And I mean, it was pinpoint to Bowen's header, to head. And he's just headed it low into the corner. The goalkeeper should have done a lot better, though. I mean, really should have been saving it. I mean, he's got a bit of power in it. That's what's happened. The goalkeeper's tried to parry it. He's parried it into the net. But I think Gary Neville made a good point regarding Luton, saying that if they're going to have a chance of survival, they've got to save these things. They've got to have their keeper at it. And I've got to be honest, looking at that performance overall, I think Luton are going to really struggle this season. They just lack quality. That's the problem. They don't look like a Premier League side. And yeah, so I mean, it did feel like we didn't really break out much of a sweat, really, but we were 1-0 up at half time. And say Jared Bowen and silence those fans, which was great because they were giving him so much stick. So it was good to see him do that. So we went in at half time. And the second half, this is where I think West Ham really showed our Premier League experience, our quality around the pitch, the quality we've got in our team. And we just lost that game second half. We were just absolutely in control, never looked frightened. I mean, you consider as well, like I've just said, the magnitude of the game for Luton, the fact they were 1-0 down, it's the second half. I was, expecting them to really come at us, and West Ham just dealt with it. Like, we really dealt with it well. We were holding the ball beautifully, and I didn't really feel nervous. You know what I mean? You always do a little bit, especially only being 1-up. You think, oh God, don't blow this, because if we go 1-up, if we go to 1-1, then we're going to really, struggle. You imagine, because the crowd will just, be in electric form, and they will want them to get over the line. But no, ultimately though, I did feel that we were going to win that game. And this is even at 1-0. After I just thought, I can't really see us losing this, or not even drawing it. I just felt that we were going to win. We did have a goal though that was ruled out for offside. Emerson, really strange one actually. I couldn't. I need to watch it back. I haven't really watched it back properly, but I couldn't quite understand how they made that decision, because when they were showing the angles of how they've made this decision, one, it was really quick. I didn't see any lines as well, which confused me. Usually the VAR, they go, oh, the VAR are doing a check. And then they just showed a quick angle, which didn't really show anything. It was a really odd angle. So the goal, it was just, it didn't show for me any evidence. And they just went, oh, yeah, that's it. Look, it proves offside. And that was it. Very strange, very, very odd decision. And frustrating, really, because that was a really good point in the half where, one, we were very dominant and deserved a goal. But I think it would have just probably put them out of sight very easily. Then I think they would have down tools a little bit. And dare I say it, I think we probably would have gone on to win by a greater margin. But no, it was ruled out, possibly a little bit unfairly, but whatever, it's fine. And we carried on. Again, we never looked in too much danger. And then it was 5 minutes before the end, until a normal time, that we got our second that we deserved, and it just gave that cushion that we needed. I'm not saying I wasn't really particularly worried at that point. I didn't think we needed, but it was just, when you get that second goal, it just makes you breathe, doesn't it? A little bit easier. You think, all right, great. You can start thinking about the looking at the table. I've always got a weird rule. I don't know about anyone else. I'd like to let you, share your thoughts on this, but I'm very superstitious when it comes to football. I can't help it. It just annoys me. I'm not a superstitious guy, but when it comes to West Ham, I always am. And so if certain things work, if we do well, then I always continue to do that. And I've always found, I don't know whether anyone else does this, if I look at the league table during a game that we're winning, it always feels like I'm looking at it too early. I don't want to look at the table, because it's almost like I'm jinxing it. Like, I'll go, look, we're top and we've got 10 points and all that. I don't want to do that. So I'm reluctant to do it. But once that second goal went in, I admit that I looked at the table. I thought, well, where has it look? I thought, oh, it looks great. But my worries did sort of seem to come to fruition, actually, because Luton actually did pull one back. It was Anderson that scored, and it was in, I think, 92nd minute. So it was like 2 minutes left after that of added on time, I believe. And it did set up a little bit of a nervy ending. It's typical. It'd been nice to keep a clean sheet, because we haven't done that yet this season. But two, it just sets up that nervous ending, doesn't it? But again, West Ham, I mean, look at the way we performed. Just no nerves, just handled it, dealt with the situation really well, and saw the game out. Came away 2-1 winners. And let's be honest, I think that score flattered Luton. I think we were really good there. That indicates a bit of a tight game, doesn't it? 2-1, but it wasn't. West Ham were very dominant, very, very good performance. And as you can tell, I mean, I'm thrilled. I'm really, really chuffed. What a start to the season! What a start to this Premier League season. So, played 4, won 3, drawn 1, 10 points. I think we're +6 on goals, possibly. I can't think I've got that right. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely delighted, and lovely it was on a Friday night, because it gives you that weekend now just to go, let's sit back and watch some football and enjoy it. So I'm really, really pleased. A couple of other points I want to mention is the midfield. I mean, these signings are looking very good, aren't they? I mean, West Ham United, fair play. I criticised the club over the summer in regards to the handling of the Declan Rice situation. Not the sale, but the replacement. I found it really frustrating that we didn't seem to have identified a proper replacement. We seemed to be dilly-dallying. We were going in, and we pulled out the Wall Price deal. Then we're going for him. Then we're going for Polina. And I was getting very concerned that we just weren't going to get this right. But no, we have. I mean, you can see that West Ham have bought really well here. Invested that money from the Rice sale impeccably. Very impressed, and I think the football world are recognising that West Ham have dealt with this well, because that midfield was excellent, really excellent. The balance of Paqueta, Ward-Prowse is great, and Alvarez, wow, What a player. I mean, obviously he's identified as the Rice replacement, but he's a brilliant footballer. Brilliant. He does the basics. He does what you want. He's assured on the ball. He put in a very good tackle, and that was in the second half. At one point, he came in and slid in and just comfortably won the ball. And yeah, I am looking at him thinking, what a signing. Really, really good. And of course, we've got Kudus that made an appearance. I think he came on with about 5 minutes of added normal time left, so didn't really get to see too much of him. But you know, I can understand it. You know, we didn't want to throw him on, risk it for now. Why not? We keep him on the bench and we'll keep him fresh and then we can get going. Because let's be honest, we've got some big games coming up after the international break. So very, very pleased with the balance of this team at the moment. We look a better team. I know I said it recently regarding Rice. And that's no disrespect to Declan Rice at the end of the day. He's a world-class player. We know that. But as a team, we look stronger. We look better balance and less ego, it feels. You know, you look around that pitch, you don't see a lot of ego out there. You see a team. And I really like it. Really, really exciting. And I've got to say to Kurt Zouma as well for captaincy. I mean, he's come in, it's a little bit under the radar a little bit, hasn't he? He sort of took the captaincy at the beginning of the season. It was all a bit, is he going to be permanent? Not sure. Maybe this is just a temporary thing, but I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. I did have my worries, actually, because I was thinking of the whole Cat situation, how the backlash is going to be on that. But I don't really care now. I'm sort of thinking, do you know what? He is proving to be a very good captain. I think the players seem to really like him. The fans love him. And what a performance again from him. We'll come to the man of the match in a minute, but what a performance. You know, he is such a good player. So underrated in terms of, you know, the league's best defenders. He is up there. He is an exceptionally talented defender, and I'm chuffed with him and delighted for him to be captain because I think he suits it well. He really does. I mean, I'm not saying that he's the permanent captain because I don't know it for certain, but I imagine he will be. It makes sense. I mean, considering our start, it'd be weird now when it's changed captain when we've, you know, the start we've made. So, yeah, man of the match then. Let's do it. Man of the match. So I'll obviously do the top three. I'm going to start with my third place. This was hard again. I mean, this has been tough this season. In terms of man of the match, because the players are just performing so well. There's so many good performers out there. I was struggling, but I'm going to go number 3, Edson Alvarez for me. I mean, by the way, I'd like your top 3, so please just throw them in, and I will comment and I'll look at them because I do like to see how we're doing. And I'm keeping a table of all these, by the way, so we'll keep. We'll maybe do a review the next game, and we'll see where players are sitting at the moment in terms of, and this will run through to our player of the year at the end. But yeah, number 3 for me, Edson Alvarez. I mean, I've just talked about him. What a player. Really settling in well. He looks like he's been here for years, doesn't he? Like he doesn't look like a player that's adapting to the league and striking. He seems to know where his teammates are. He's happy to get stuck in, level-headed. I'm really pleased with him. Really exactly what we need as a player. And yeah, absolutely chuffed with him. So yeah, he got third spot to me. He got the bronze medal. Silver for me, number 2 was Lucas Paqueta. Again, I mean, so instrumental in everything we do. Such a talented player. I mean, he does things, doesn't he, with a football that you can only just stand back and go, wow. Like, he reminds me of Di Canio. Those moments when he just does things. And I mean, I love his through balls and his vision and stuff. But there was one point as well when the ball was going off the pitch. He was going off for a throw in, and he sort of got the ball. He stopped it from going off, and he somehow passed it literally like a 180 around him. I don't even know how he did it. He just turned and bang, and he just done one big spin and passed it directly to one of our players. I don't know how he did it. I remember watching it thinking that was exceptionally good. And he does these things all the time, and it's hard to keep up with how many good things he does. But yeah, and obviously, you know, unbelievable for the Bowen goal. So yeah, he got runner up for me. Very, very close. I mean, I honestly say there could have been so many players in this top 3. It's ridiculous. But number 1 for me, Kurt Zouma. He was outstanding for me. What a performance from him again. I mean, as I say, captain, but a leader. I mean, he got the goal as well, just to cap it off. And again, like Bowen, stuck it to the Luton fans, which I really love seeing because they were booing him the whole game, and great to see him do that. And yeah, good header, great ball from Ward-Prowse, who again, he was excellent. Bowen was excellent. There were so many good performances today. Emerson again, very good. But yeah, Zouma for me, one man in the match. He was just so good, so assured. I mean, he's one of those players now that I actually like fearful of his injuries because he does. You know, with Zouma, he will probably miss about a third of the season, really, because of his injury. He does have issues with his knees and whatnot. So I'm always fearful that at some point we will lose him for a period. But to be fair, he's a fast recoverer, but he is instrumental to our team. In fact, that's the only doubt, actually. I've just realised that in terms of the captaincy, it's the only downside, isn't it, with Zouma, giving him the captaincy, but knowing he's probably going to break down at some stage because that's how he is, unfortunately. He's just one of those players. He will have injuries. We can't get around it. But so far, so good. Yeah, for me, number one, Zouma. He was excellent. But again, please let me know your top three. I'd like to have those debates because it's interesting. And it's bloody hard. I mean, when you're doing so well, how do you pick? It's very difficult. But yeah, for me, Zouma. Brilliant start to the season. Brilliant start to the season. What can I say? Look, we've started the weekend perfectly. Let's all just sit back and enjoy the rest of it. And let's hopefully we stay top of that league for as long as we can.